A woman noticed that after giving birth to her child, her best friend's visits to her home became increasingly frequent. Each time, the friend would hold the newborn son, and the woman's husband would warmly welcome her, as if they were the true family. However, the woman seemed unconcerned and even intentionally left the house to give her best friend and husband opportunities to get closer. The reason behind her actions was that she had long been aware of her husband and best friend's betrayal. Even the son she was raising was their child, while her own baby had been killed by her best friend. They planned to wait until the woman had raised the son to adulthood before openly inheriting her billions in assets. Little did they know that the woman had overheard their entire plot. She suppressed her inner rage and vowed to make her husband and best friend pay a terrible price. To avoid alerting them, the woman devised a vicious revenge plan. In reality, the woman's true identity was the chairman of Lin Group, with a net worth exceeding hundreds of billions. Her husband, who coveted her wealth, had already betrayed her with her best friend before their marriage, all for the sake of money. They deliberately arranged for the best friend and the woman to give birth on the same day, intending to swap their children. However, the woman, who had returned early, discovered their scheme. For the next decade, the woman continued to feign ignorance. Even when her husband and best friend engaged in subtle affectionate gestures under the table during meals, she never exposed them, waiting for them to step deeper into her trap. 20 years passed, and under the woman's doting, the young boy grew into a useless man who only played video games and nearly failed to graduate from college. Yet, relying on the woman's wealth, he always did as he pleased. On the eve of his graduation, the best friend suggested that the boy take over the woman's company after graduating, and the husband echoed her sentiment. Unexpectedly, the woman readily agreed and told her son that she had arranged everything. After the graduation ceremony, she would publicly announce him as the group's sole heir and sign a share transfer agreement with him in front of all the media. Upon hearing this, the husband and best friend were overjoyed, becoming even more brazen in their actions. After the boy's graduation ceremony, the three of them rushed to the woman's office, not even taking the time to change clothes, urging her to fulfill her promise. The woman had already prepared a grand banquet. In front of everyone, she announced that her son would take over all her family's assets starting that day. To the shock of the crowd, she swiftly signed the share transfer agreement. At that moment, the best friend and the man dropped their act. They immediately presented a paternity test, declaring that the boy was actually their son and that the woman's child had died 20 years ago. They shamelessly began to mock the woman's ignorance. However, they found the woman remarkably calm. She merely asked her son for his opinion. Unexpectedly, the boy's face instantly changed. He walked between his biological parents and joined them in ridiculing the woman, stating that in love, the one who is not loved is the mistress. Little did they know that the woman had planned everything in advance. They were the most foolish ones, and the real show was just beginning.